All right. Hey guys, WRLD EATR here. This is going to be a different kind of episode. We're going to be going over just some stuff like the shop, what we'd like to see, some issues we're seeing, and I guess we just want to see some change. So I got some players you guys probably already know, and for those of you that don't, they're going to be introducing themselves here in a bit. We have different types of players here. NFT holders that are free to play, pay to play, and then just strictly pay to play with no NFTs, and of course a free to play player like myself on multiple accounts. Of course my main is pay to play somewhat, but for the majority on every other account I am free to play. My name is WRLD EATR. I'll be advocating for the free to play party.
Hey there guys, my name is Anto, and also known as Antomanz. I'll be advocating for NFTs for the majority of the part and somewhat some free-to-plays, but being a past paid-to-play player myself, I can chip in a little bit of that, but again, I'll be mostly advocating for NFTs and free-to-play.
Hello, I'm Olivernoko. I'm a newer player, I guess, in the scale of things, and I'm a pay-to-play player and have 6 NFTs currently.
Hey, ZombieSlayer here. I've been playing for about 6 years now. I'm your non-NFT pay-to-play player, so I'm speaking up for the guys that want to keep on seeing good stuff in shop, that way we can keep on spending our money and keep on having fun.
All right, so we're going to first talk about what we truly think is extremely important in the shop, and that's going to be the base price for resources. We're going to be having a small discussion on resources, and then we're going to go on with a few other topics that relate to both resources and other things in the shop. I want to start off by saying I truly believe that the base price for resources, to me, is a little high. And when I say base price, I don't mean this price right here you're seeing on screen, 600 on the sale day. I'm talking about if you go to raid and then you click on the plus, and you'll see right here for the same amount of shards, it's 800. That is the base price. So we're going to be talking about that base price, followed by what we want to see in the shop as a sale. And I want to start off by saying I truly believe the sale price of 600 shards should be the base price. It's a lot more entry level. I truly feel like paying 800 on a day where these aren't around is a lot. If we're trying to compare it to real currency, we're going to be saying that's around $8. And to me, $8 for 20 runs around 40 minutes without a boost in it doesn't guarantee anything. So it just feels extremely expensive, and I just don't feel like anyone really wants to pay that much. I know I wouldn't. I know I've never done it. I know a few people that have, and they said they regret it. But what do you guys think about 600 being the base price for shard baskets, token duffels, and so on?
I think it's very fair, to be honest.
I can agree with that. The current sale prices are quite okay, the 440 especially, and then the 520. But as you've said, the maximum non-sale price is just too high.
If they did bring it down to the 600 gems and then apply the smaller sale price, you would probably have a lot less or a lot more being bought out, because us as players see that as value, and we take advantage when we see value. And if there's no value in the shop, then we just pass it over and we don't spend our gems or our money. So the goal is to entice the players to stimulate that spending again, get us, wanting to have fun. So that would stimulate a little bit more growth in the gameplay.
One point I'd like to mention as well with the single resources, we are sort of also paying a premium because they are target.
True.
Like single target resources. So yes, it may be 500-600 gems for a single one. That doesn't mean in a multi-pack they should be the same value.
Exactly. Very true. I also think seeing the sale here saying 25% off, we don't have to have that same exact percentage if the base price is lowered. I would be happy seeing a 10% off from the base value of 600 and a 20% off on better sales. Personally, I think 550 for a sale, 50 shaved off would feel really nice. And then 100 shaved off would be even nicer for those really special events. The good thing about this is if you lower the base price of this and you don't have a crazy sale like 25% off to, I'd say, 40% off, it would still benefit players because in the long run, they'll be spending less overtime. So even though the sales aren't as crazy, they'll still would have saved a little bit of gems over the long run.
And spending more along the way.
Yeah, more often for sure.
Yes, more often.
I think the big issue comes from because the base is so high, it ends up being that barely anyone or almost no one buys the thing at base, and everyone just has to wait in order to spend money. Where it should be more attractive that you should always be considering, do I want to spend money now, rather than, I have to wait until these actually come on sale at the end of the week. Where I think they just need to be a little bit more attractive and more accessible to everyone. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Does anyone have anything else to add from this, or should we move on to talk about the gem sales?
Just one last thing on the resource sales. When they were at lower prices, World and Anto may know remember this, but years ago we used to have so much stuff in the shop, you would end up having to budget what you could spend because there was so much to buy because it was that good. Now we're struggling to find one good sale in the shop.
Yeah.
And for this week alone, for example, in my eyes as a pay-to-play player, the only thing to buy is the legendary adventure bag. It has the best value, and it's the only pack that's I'm willing to buy. So the spending from years ago went from $200, $300 down to $50. That's my concern.
A good tip for any viewers out there. Say if you wanted to you were considering buying a pack of Zeals. Reconsider that, and you could buy a shard basket. If you run those 20 raids on a Bitgore, you will get 20 Zeals back in honor. So the value between the resources is a lot different.
Yeah, they're not all worth exactly the same, being 800 base cost. So it's basically what you said, that the Zeal one, even though it costs 800 and then as base, and then the raid one costs 800 as well. The raid one is essentially you're also getting a free Zeal legendary thing in there as well, just because of how the resources are not created equally. So it would be nice to see different values for different legendary resources as well, and that's something that they would have to have a look at and study. What is the actual value of each individual resource?
Just to touch on that, though, I would also like to say you don't have to necessarily change the value of every one of them. You could kind of balance them out to just be equal to each other. I don't know too much into this. Maybe you guys might be able to say something, but I would like to see the amount of Zeals in the legendary pack go up. I think a little more would be better.
Good alternative.
Yeah, because I think maybe like 35 to 40 would be a comfortable spot. I don't know if that's too much or too little. I just know that 20 right now feels very bad because you can easily just push any raid, anything else really, and just get a bunch more experience and spend it on Zeals in honor in your guild shop. So to me, the Zeals is just a big miss. I've looked at this pack for such a long time, this bunch of Zeals, the resource, and I truly think it is the worst option in the shop. I'd rather buy ticket rolls, personally.
I totally agree.
But
every other resource has some value, like more use than Zeals. Zeals is a real miss.
We're not in this to get cheaper prices so we can just have it better for us. I really want to stress this, guys. To me, 600 is fair because it's pretty much where everyone buys anyway. And I feel like if there wasn't a sale and it was 600 base and people were already used to it, they would buy it. And to me, it's a lot more entry level. So please just understand, guys. Obviously, all of you probably want to see it like at 400. From a business perspective, that's just not realistic. I think 600 is completely fair. And to me, I would buy that as a free-to-player and a partial pay-to-player and an NFT holder. I would definitely pay 600 without a sale if I really needed a push. So we talked about this for a while. We didn't want it too low, and we truly don't think it has to be a huge % discount in the shop every time it comes around, because 600 base to 550 or 500 at the lowest sounds really good. Maybe once a year, a little lower than the 500 if they want, but I truly think this is a fair middle ground for the prices.
Agreed.
And I guess to start it off, currently we've got a very expensive pack in a shop. A lot of people have been quite upset about this pack, and To be honest, it's a lot better than people make it out to be, but it's still not a good pack by any means.
Yeah, currently the pack he is talking about is going to be the one in the shop that cost 18,000 gems, called the Mythic Mat Energy Pack. It comes with 6 of every resource. That's going to be Shard Baskets, Bunch of Zeals, Plaque of Badges, Token Duffels, Ticket Roll, and of course the Energy Pack. And it also comes with a mythic material from each area, which is going to be the Fleece, Mythic Curio, Pinion, Mythic Collar, Mud, and of course the Mintineral. The big problem with this pack that I'm seeing here is, Ollie had told me this before, these gentlemen had told me this before, it targets no real audience. Think about this, 18k gems. How many players on average actually have that and don't know what they're already going to buy? A lot of players that are saving a lot of gems are either pushing for an accessory, pushing for a pet, or saving for a bunch of rolls on those leg brain boxes or something. They're doing something with those gems already. When this pops up, typically players try to buy a specific resource when they're trying to do a huge spend on gems with their, a huge spend with their gems on resources. I really think this pack is just too big. It needs to be broken down, whether it's in 3s or in 6. And I just truly think it needs to be more focused. Like the push packs, for example, that we have, they cost real money, but if you had some that cost gems, even if it didn't come with the mythic material, I truly think just having packs of one specific resource on a sale would be really nice. If you wanted to throw the mythic material in there as well, that'd be great. But to me, the whole point of a pack and buying a pack is to play the game. It's a lot healthier for the game if there's people playing the game, not just getting the item immediately and skipping the whole farm and then just being off because they're done with their farm.
I agree with that. Can I add?
Go for it.
With that Mythic Mat pack, I just have to say, to be honest and respectful, flat out, it is out of touch with our player base and very predatory. Because to a new player that is saving up their gems, if they were to buy it, it would be kind of a waste to them because, like World said, they're saving up for more important stuff with their gems. And if they don't know better and they think it's a good value, they're buying less than an XL pack for more than it's actually worth. And the myth mats usually come when you do run those resources. So to put that much value on the myth mat itself is just too out of touch for what the normal player with gems is trying to go for. So I bet you anything that pack is sat in shop and nobody's bought it. So we've had a pack like that before with the myth skin, and we've addressed this, how out of touch it is with the price of the cost of the pack compared to the value of it. And we were told that we weren't going to see anything like that again, but here we are. So
this has value, though, to be fair. It has a lot of value. It's just, it has no target because nobody has that amount of gems. Like, if I had these, I would buy it, but I can't.
That's the thing, is it has value, but not to the people that are
Agree.
That's the issue. We need packs to sell to generate the spending. So it kind of pushes people away. I'll just say that it pushes people away.
To summarize, essentially, I think what we're saying is the value of the pack itself is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's just too expensive.
It's too much.
When we see gem sales, I think instantly in my head, gem sales, it's targeted mainly for free-to-play, but also should attract some pay-to-play players. If it's a good sale, then they'll want to maybe get some gems just to buy the gem pack.
That's $150 so $150.
We can break it down by the numbers, as we did. If there's 36 resources in it, if we value them at 400 a piece, which is, to be honest, on the higher end of when we do the multi-pack varied gem sales, that's 14,400 gems. That means the mythic mats are 600 gems each, which isn't bad, isn't terrible.
Yeah.
But I have enough gems to buy this pack easily. But I'm not going to, because 400 gems for varied resource isn't good, and I don't need the mythic materials at all. A free-to-play player doesn't have 18,000 gems who might need the materials. They're not going to have 18,000 gems just lying around for this pack to randomly appear.
Not just that, the average pay-to-player. I'm not talking like super whales. I'm talking the average casual pay-to-player. They don't have that many gems either. Usually they'll hover around, I'd say 6 to 10k gems, which is where I hover around when I'm spending, and I try my best to save as much as I can. But this is just out of my element, unfortunately. It's just too expensive. If this was broken in threes, and it was something, I guess, more focused to the stuff I want to farm, I would definitely go for this. And there's one last thing I want to say, kind of involving this. Gem sales, right? We have some sales that are in the others tab. Sorry to go off, but it's kind of related. For new players, called the small new player pack, the medium new player pack, and the large new player pack. I think if you're going to charge actual money, they should probably be a little better. And by that, I mean scrapping maybe the first two, leaving the 30, and making one of these, if not both of these, a guaranteed epic. And then maybe throwing in a gem version of that, a gem version of a starter pack. Maybe around 6k gems, you know, if it has to be a little higher than the base value of the gems. Let's say it would be, what's $30 worth in gems supposed to be right now? 3,000?
Well, currently it's probably about $30 because we don't have the weekly gem orb anymore.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for later.
For sure. I just think we need a new player pack that costs gems as well. That way, for those new players that are saving up at the very beginning, they'll be able to get a little bit of everything instead of waiting for one specific day in the shop to roll a pet chest or a pet egg or an accessories chest. They could spend a discounted value on a starter pack they could only buy once. And the reason I'm saying this and the reason why it's going to be such a good value is because every single mobile game I've played, and I'm talking every one of them I've played, always show me a really, really good value, and then you could only buy it once. And then they have decent sales after that. So you should have a really good, compelling, valuable purchase for a starter player so they can get the ball rolling for both gems and real money. And I really don't think it should be the same cost gem-wise. Of course, the gems should probably be bumped up just a little more.
That just made me think of the new sets as you tier up. You know, the packs you can buy. Not good value. And then the merchants as well with the gems, which are definitely not good value.
Yeah, we need to get rid of that merchant.
That's being polite about the merchants.
We'll talk about that some other time, but definitely gem packs need to come back. I would love to see at least 1 or 2 gem packs along with regular sales that are worth getting. And by that, I don't mean stuff that we always see like the Mount box and the large Lucky Boost box. I'm talking about bundles, like how the Easter egg pack is a bundle. I want to see a bundle worth gems, because at the end of the day, players will buy gems to get a bundle. I've bought gems to get a bundle. When you guys had gem orbs, I would buy those gem orbs every single week they were out. That I could buy one, I would buy those every week, plus whatever else I wanted in the shop. I haven't seen them, so I don't buy gems anymore. I don't like doing offer walls because it's very finicky, and I really just don't trust them. I love buying stuff in the game. That's why a lot of people never went for NFTs, even though they thought they were interesting. They're more comfortable buying stuff in the game. So just because there's awesome stuff for sale on offer wall, I still think it's better to have gem sales in the shop. I really would like to see those gem orbs come back.
Can I add to that, World?
Go for it.
As a pay-to-play player, I don't like to shop outside of the shop. It's just easier to go through the shop. So he is right. If there are gem bundles or gem deals like the 1K gems for the guts, jellies, and creams, those are exciting little deals that would pop up and like, ooh, nice surprise. I don't have gems for it. Let me go grab some. I'll buy some gems just to pick up that sale. It will generate other spending if the gems aren't available. It's just you have to be able to provide that for us. Otherwise, we won't have that interest in the shop to get more gems to continue the spending. So keep providing those good little deals that we keep looking in the shop for, and they will get bought up. If you provide us with the gem deals like what's in the shop now, we're going to pass it up. So Stick with what sells, please. We want to see more of the smaller gym bundles for the newer players as well. It helps everyone, not just a few.
For sure. I know they have sales on gems and they have it in news, but the problem is a lot of people don't even see the news and they'll just click the X on the box. Like sometimes it'll say discount on gems if you buy a certain amount. Like that's cool and all, but nobody really reads the news. A majority of players do not read the news. I'm being straight out with you guys. I would love to see a sale in the shop. That's where I would see it. That's where I would buy it. And I've been playing every single day since pretty much Tier 9 released, you know, on multiple accounts, and there's a lot of times I don't read the news, you know? There's a lot of times where even myself, a content creator for this platform, an official content creator at that, doesn't know the news, and people tell me things because I don't see the news tab. I X out of it. I go straight to shop if I want to check out anything, and I go to town if there's an event. So put the sales in the shop, and don't just put them behind this little corner in the little gems over here after you buy a certain amount, because to me that's really hard to like define, and to me it's not as valuable. It doesn't look as appealing to me. I want to see it in the shop, so if you guys can just please bring those back and put them in the shop, I would be very appreciated. I know a lot of players would, but do you guys have anything else to say about gem packs by chance?
From an NFT perspective, I can't think of any reason why those gem packs have been removed for the guts, jelly, and cream, because they can't be abused by NFT holders. Yes, the NFT holders that have many do have an influx of gems, but gem packs are one per account, so that really makes no difference at all.
Yeah, the fact that there's only one per account that you can buy, just I understand how they're trying to work around NFTs, because there's just been a lot of commotion about them in recent Bit Heroes news and stuff, but like Ollie said, you can only buy one per hero on the account. So
yep, it's not like me with my hoard of gems can just sit here when the next one comes up and max all my accessories and pets in one go. I can only buy one, and I'll have to choose who do I want to buy on my main, or do I want to get one of my NFTs?
That's very fair.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'm glad that it's like that anyways. To me, if every NFT can just buy it, it would be broken, but it's good to see that it's already like that. I just want to make sure you guys understand that NFTs cannot abuse that. So we would really like to see gem sales come back.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to add for the gem sales, or should we move on to the next topic?
Next topic.
All right. So next topic are event packs, and we'll just be talking about them in general. So I think event packs need to be more in line to how they used to be from previous years, because their costs have kind of stayed the same. Some stuff has gone missing from the event packs. So this Easter one, I believe, has one less of a legendary resource.
Yep.
We
noted.
Last year one had an Ego, I believe, for Easter, the 250% boost. So these have kind of been fluctuating in value. Again, we just like to, at least from my point of view, I just want to see some more consistency, and the evaluation does need to be consistent, because if the evaluation was correct, then we would be seeing regular things coming back to the shop. Again, the cosmetics are nice, but it's just the resources that are kind of like going up and then down, and we just kind of unsure what the actual value is supposed to be. What's the actual goal? What are the valuations for these things? Does anyone have anything else to add for these event sales?
Yes, for sure. I would definitely like to see, like I said earlier, a gem version of this, even if it is a slightly less flashy cosmetic or no cosmetic. I would love to see a gem version of this come out, even if it does have a nerfed boost, like instead of the Egg Gore, it can come with something else like a Bite Gore, but still give a good amount of resources. I truly think it should be 3 of every resource, and not just that. There's only 5 out of these 6 resources here. What is just adding those last 3 going to do? Zeals are missing in the current one. Like we said before, Zeals are the worst value, so I really don't see why you guys can't just throw those in. I would love to see these just a little boosted. In the previous ones, we've had 700% boost with 1k gems and some awesome killer skins. More skins that came in this one, actually. with 3 of each resource, and those were $30 as well. Very fantastic. I love them. And now just looking at this one, like, yes, you give us a week-long boost of 250%, but the average player only does regen on that. They'll go through this whole stack of stuff literally and under probably 2 hours, depending on the week. If it's GVG, definitely under 2 hours. So this is very, very quick to use. Doesn't feel like it meshes well. You're giving us a week boost, right? For like less than 2 hours of gameplay.
Yep.
So I definitely think it needs to be looked at for sure.
Yeah, and as we discussed previous, it's the event packs we've had in recent time have been quite good, that we've all been said we are happy to purchase. And I think generally it's some cosmetics, about 15 to 20 varied packs. It doesn't have to, there could be one missing as long as it's compensated with more of extras. And a gore, it's either been a smaller length, higher gore, 751, 4 hours, 7 hours, or a longer weak gore, but that's a lower boost. And then some extra gems thrown in as well, compared to the one we've got currently, which is a lot less resources, no gems. Yes, it's got a weak gore, which is nice, but it's only got 2 cosmetics as well.
It's distinguishing these event sales, which they are special events. They should be limited purchase. So as NFT holders, I feel like you should only really be buying one of these. Yes. Unless the cosmetic, maybe for all the accounts, I'm not sure how that would work, but these sales should be very different from the regular sales, where they should stand out as event sales, not just regular sales. So they should be better value. Maybe not completely broken, but they should be much better than the usual sales. So again, it's just keep in mind that NFT holders can buy multiple packs sometimes. It just depends on what it is. But it's just a matter of making sure that these actually stand out as holiday sales and make you be like, wow, now is the time to spend because it's this weekly event or special event, whatever, conversary. You should be incentivized to want to spend during those events, not get a sale that's, oh, look, it's an event sale, but it's not really any better than the regular sales that we've gotten.
I'd like to add, you are correct there, Anto. These event sale bundles are a crowd favorite. People look forward to the resources, the boosts in them, and especially the cosmetics that go with the event. Now, here's what I've been noticing lately with these event boosts is players will notice the devaluation in them. And yes, they might still get bought off the shelf, but the customer satisfaction isn't in there. We notice these small little changes, and it kind of turns us away from wanting to continue buying them when we start comparing them to what we used to have. And Anto and Ollie are right. We want to see more consistency with these special event deals because they're only around for the events. So players will want to go after them if it has a good value and it's in line with our event fun, but maintaining the value of what we tried to strive for in the gameplay. So if it's uniform along every deal, then you will consistently see these being bought off the shelf. But when you start devaluing it with less resources, no gems, a smaller boost, less cosmetics, we're going to start looking at them differently, and we shouldn't see them in a different light. They should be something that we look forward to seeing and brighten things up.
Yeah, honestly, last year, I can remember quite well in my head the Hydra pack, and some packs prior to that. I was really looking forward to each event and buying the packs. And as an NFT holder, I was buying them on all my accounts. I think I've bought one event pack since then on my main. I've not touched them on my NFTs because the value's just not there
anymore.
And I would agree with Anto as well about the one-time purchase. I would like to see them, say if they were a bit stronger than they have been in the past, but limited to one time, that's totally fine. And because I do see if they were stronger and how broken it would be if you could buy it multiple times.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I would just love to see more gameplay out of this than stuff in here like a week-long boost. Like, yes, it's incentivizing me to play more in the week, but I have nothing to play. So again, Just double downing on what we said earlier, more resources need to be in this, definitely. And I completely agree with the Hydra Pack. That pack was insane value. It was such a beautiful cosmetic, in my opinion, like insanely good cosmetic. I still use it all the time on my main account. And to me, that is what a $30 value screams. I'm not sure about any of y'all. I'm pretty sure you guys definitely feel this way. Whenever an event is coming, I think we just talked about it right now, we're looking forward to this sale, you know? It's only coming once. Only one character should be able to buy it from now on, in my opinion, out of every account. So no NFTs plus main. I really do think, like Anto was saying, we have to make sure these aren't the most broken deals, but are definitely worth. Because the worst feeling is looking forward to something and being let down.
That's what this event has been. I'm just going to be completely honest. I was looking forward to buying stuff this week. I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy anything. That's a problem. How are we going to continue the gameplay if there's nothing to spend on and support the game with? I'm not trying to attack the company. I would just like to work with them to where both parties are getting what they're coming for, and they both benefit. At this state right now, it's looking very gloom.
So I guess I'll kick it off to talk about some of the smaller packs. As we have previously mentioned that some 18k gem packs, some expensive sales. It would be nice to get some smaller sales to make it, again, more accessible to everyone, because not everyone has $30, $50, $100 to spend. Some people can only afford to spare a little bit, especially in third world countries where obviously the currency does not translate to the same, so they obviously have to chip in more of the percentage of their salary.
Very true.
It would be nice to bring back some of the smaller orbs that we have had in the past. I'll let Oliver talk about some of the smaller orbs that we've had in the past, as I cannot really remember them. Oliver, can you give us a refresher on what they used to sell?
The three main ones that I remember were the Weekend Boost, which is actually a newer one, which has vanished. But that was one of each resource and an Odegor for $10. There was a small orbs, which, if I remember correctly, was one Zeal pack, one shard basket, and 500 gems for $5. And then a medium orb, which was 2 Zeals, 2 energy packs, and 2 raid packs with 500 gems for $10, I believe. It's been a while, so I might forget. But these were great value, small packs, and as a spender with many NFTs, they were great. I was buying these every week on every NFT. Though it's not broken value, but for a regular spender, they were great. As I say, I was buying them every week, but now they're gone.
Yeah. They do seem, especially the Zero and Shards, some of them seems a bit more targeted. I think having more options for these, obviously you should have more sales. You shouldn't limit the amount of sales. I'm not sure if there's a limit to the amount of sales you can have in the shop. But again, having more options, cheaper, medium price, more expensive, would just be better, especially the smaller ones, which we are missing, that used to exist and don't exist anymore. It helps to increase your impulse spending as well. And especially if it is consistent value, people will want to buy those. Do you guys want to add anything to this?
Yes. I definitely want to say one thing. Think about this in another scenario that'll pretty much help you guys out. This is for viewers or anyone watching this, of course, whatever, right? When you're at a grocery store and you're pretty much paying for your groceries, they put a lot of those really nice, interesting things there that you may want that are really cheap, like snacks, movies, small card games, a bunch of little things that could appeal to the majority of the people there. And it pretty much promotes impulsive buying. You really want to just put something here that'll make us think, $5, yeah, I can throw $5 at this. Oh, $10, yeah, whatever, it's $10. I personally would throw a lot of money at this game if we had a little more lower priced items. Like the only low price item that's here very often that just doesn't appeal to me anymore because I already have them all is the cosmetic bundle. That's the only bundle that's stayed the price, that's come consistently, and even then it's just cosmetics. And
one thing just to put in and add, You are so correct with that. Last year, when I was buying these and all my NFTs on every week, I checked my spending 1 month and it was a hell of a lot more than I thought, just because all these small little things add up and you don't realize whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah,
Look,
that is
it's
very
good
true.
for them for sure, but like it's also good for us because it'll help us be like, you know what? It'll give us that itch to spend, even if we don't have much to spend. You don't know how often I want to buy a pack, but to me, it's just a little too much. Like if I see a legendary, for example, right here on this pack right here, the legendary adventure bag. Sometimes I'll buy it. You know, to me, that's one of the only good value items left in the shop. I know Zombie agrees with that for sure,
Definitely.
and I'll definitely want to get it, but to me, $50 is like, do I want to chuck a 50 at this game right now? Like, that shouldn't be the only compelling option. That's why us players look forward to the event packs again, just because they're in that really nice range of like 30 and sub 30. So I truly think we need $5, $10, $20, and $30 bundles. Heck, you can even put in like $15, you know, anything 30 and sub 30. And like Anto said, just don't limit the shop. If you guys can add like another 3 items to the shop, add 3 items. We'd love a variety to choose from. So,
very, very true, because it wasn't until Ollie started bringing those deals to my attention, that's when I started noticing the value in them. So when there wasn't any good deals of value in the shop, you could always revert to those smaller ones and still feel like you're getting something, even though it's not a big purchase, you know, $100 purchase, you're still getting something of value. You can either play it right then, you can save it up for later, but you're still able to engage in the shop and stimulate the spending. And that's the point that we're trying to make here is, if you don't provide that for us, we're not going to spend. So
and the value in those packs was more apparent to NFT holders anyway, because you would get the bulk at once, whereas you didn't see it at the start because it was just that small little bit at a time. You probably saw the pack and was like, oh, I can run that in 5 minutes. What's the point? But when you add them up over time,
yes, the drops in the bucket end up filling up over time. So the value is still there if there's no other value. So just providing that option would be beneficial for both parties involved.
I agree. Does anyone have anything else to add to that?
I guess just to say that it would appeal to a larger audience anyway if there was more smaller packs. A lot of people, especially because it's a mobile game, a lot of younger audience. Many don't have it feels the shop is skewed towards the higher end of the 50, 60, $100 packs versus there's not many 30 and below.
Our teenage players won't be able to afford the $50 and $100 packs. They're not adults yet. They can still play, but they don't have the cost to buy those things. So
they may have $10, $20, $30 budgets.
Yes,
and
exactly.
There's nothing they can actually buy.
Yes, exactly. So like you're saying, more diverse sales for a larger audience.
Yeah, more diverse, more different pricing, some targeted, some in bulk. Again, it's just having the option so you can purchase in how you want to spend. Because you want to have more option in terms of what you want to spend. Everyone spends differently. Some people will see value in PvP packs, some people will see value in raid shards, and some people will see value in something completely different. So just having the option to allow the player the freedom to play the game the way they want to play it and to spend, and they can feel they got something off from it. So we'll move on real quick, unless someone has something else to add. But we'll talk a little bit about off-walls.
I'm going to go for
I think
off-walls.
we've covered everything from all the perspectives, really, on the small packs. It's good for everyone, really.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So let's move on and talk about some of the off-walls. Now we'll cover both the Congregate off-walls, which are on the Congregate website, and the mobile off-walls, which are 2 separate ones. Now, in recent times, we have not really seen too many of the phone off-walls, especially the 3x1. These off-walls are usually skewed towards US, as off-walls are region-based. and you do not get very good offers for free-to-play players or paying players in these offer walls. Now, in the past, we have had some crazy offer walls in the US, especially in mobile, to where people could get crazy amount of resources and gems just from paying very little. And this kind of ruins the economy of the game a little bit. It makes it so people don't have to spend as much, or people don't feel like they need to spend. They just wait until offer wall, and then they just spend only when there's offer wall. Which maybe if that's what Congrade wants is fine, but I think it de-incentivizes to spend regularly and much rather focusing on spending less money less frequently. Does anyone else have anything to add about these offer walls?
Yeah, just the one thing about the creds and the gems offer walls, because there's two separate ones for mobile and on the Kong website. The value is just not equivalent. Anytime someone mentions gem offer walls, I always try and tell them do it on web if you can, because it's so much more value for the creds. Not even just the straight value of what you get, also just the you can buy a lot more in a shop with creds than gems.
Yeah,
For sure.
creds are the way to go.
And then, as Anto mentioned, just the regions is just totally different between them. It's what I've heard people getting in the past. I know that's in the past now, but I know offer walls are still a thing. I kind of don't want them to carry on in a way, because it's just the value disparity is just too high compared to the normal shop.
I will add, in a way, the offer walls are kind of an unfairness to out of the U.S. country players, the same way as NFT buyers have the ability to buy more stuff in shop. There's that unfairness aspect. I'm not completely saying getting rid of them, but to still be able to provide that the sales that were generated from the offer walls, even before the NFTs were around, I never really messed with the offer walls. Strictly pay to play. I buy from the shop. But if there's a good offer wall that's being offered or announced, I would have to take part in it. It was, I hate to bring it up, the Olay offer walls, but it wasn't just that offer wall deal. It was the sales that came after the offer wall event. So you go and get your gems. All parties get their costs being bought. Then you should be able to apply those gems to an awesome sale that's in the shop. We haven't seen one of those in years, and the just the amount of gems that we get from the offer walls aren't what they used to be. So maybe bringing back that aspect to where even if you don't buy, or even if you can't do the offer walls, you can still get the sale that was being sold for gems and still actually benefit from it, even if you're just doing creds or getting gems in another route. So to provide that for us, give us the option, so that way we can choose it, or we can go get creds or gems and still purchase these awesome sales that are in the shop. That's all I'd like to say.
Yeah, I guess one thing to reiterate on my point about not liking the offer walls. Offer walls in general are good. It's nice. It adds a little extra aspect, and also you can get stuff for free, not just the paid ones. The bad thing about it is it needs to be a lot more fair across regions. I know that's sort of semi out of Kong Monumental's hands, but I'm sure they could look into it to try and make it a bit more fair. And the other thing is just the very crazy 3x sales combined with other sales like gift cards and whatnot just increase to, you get creds for pennies on a dollar compared to the usual sales. Yeah. And then to add to that, they're not even available for a lot of the player base, which makes it even more unfair.
Yeah, to touch on what you just said and what Zombie just said about kind of evening the playing field for everyone, if such world was possible, to have offer walls be not so tied to regions, but or just have more options so they're more fair across the board. And for NFTs, in terms of shop, you could have shop sales be repurchasable, unless they're very good value, or event ones obviously make them one time only purchasable. But there are things that you can do. I'm not saying those are the only options. There are things you can do to try to make things more even across the board for everyone, so everyone is happy. But removing off walls is definitely not the way to go. I think
No.
adding more diversity is better than just removing something just because you can't give it to everyone. But yeah.
Yeah, they just need to try and make the value a bit more aligned for everyone, and offer walls could be a great thing.
Yeah.
Agreed, and be utilized a lot more.
Yeah. Walt, do you have anything to add to this, or anyone else?
No, I think I'm good. You guys pretty much covered it all. I personally avoid offer walls, so I know you guys definitely have more to say about that. The only thing I do know is that they were unfair, especially when it came to regions. I think you guys just personally need to, if you're going to keep the offer walls similar to what they are, look for offers for other regions to just make it an even playing field, giving the same, if not a similar amount of value back to those people in those regions.
That's all we're trying to speak up for, is so that way everyone gets the same value, the same amount of fun, the same amount of great deal at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's many players in this game that want to spend just right now. There's just we're not even asking. We've talked about this a lot. We're not even asking for too much change from the actual shop value, really. It's just we want the more consistent of what there's been in recent times, and just more in the shop. As Zombie and others have said right now, I've looked in the shop this whole event. As a big pay-to-play player, there's nothing at all that's enticed me. Not one single pack.
Bad.
Maybe if the XL pack was the XXL or the even bigger one, the 10 or 12, I probably would have bought it. But at the 8, no. I've already got resources from the last good sales prior. As a big spender, I've always got a lot of resources. I stocked up big over the last sales, but now for quite a few months this year, there's nothing enticing.
Completely agree. We wouldn't be making this video for just no reason at all. We're not in this really just for us. We know you guys need us to start buying, so everything will be going pretty much in the right direction for both parties. More sales for you means, you know, longer game life. More sales for us means more playtime for us. So if we're buying, we're playing more. If we're playing more, you guys are doing great. So at the end of the day, I just want us both to just mutually benefit. I don't want no crazy Ken Kong sales. None of us want that. Trust me, Anto doesn't, Ollie doesn't, Zombie doesn't.
Anyway, from me, I'm, as a new player perspective, I played a little bit in the past when T11 was max, but I've only come back for this past year. I was T11 before then. I've played a lot. I've spent a lot. And last year I was having a great time. I was looking forward to events, spending loads, but towards the end of the year, it has fizzled off. I'm still enjoying the game, don't get me wrong. Granted, there's still stuff, changes I wasn't not happy with, but overall the game's still fun. I'm still playing, but I would like to continue spending. But right now there's just nothing, as I say, nothing exciting, nothing worth buying. And it's not even saying we drastically need to change. Even last year I was very happy buying the packs.
Give us something to buy and we'll keep this game alive.
Yeah. That's part of the main thing anyway. It's just nothing to buy. Not even just we want better value. It's a lot of the time there's nothing in the shop.
We just want to see a change in the shop so all of us can thrive and benefit. We do plan to make more episodes like this. No guaranteed time. We might even have some different people talking here. But we're definitely going to be talking about other subjects in the future. But we truly think that it starts with the shop. Because right now, nobody's buying. And if they are buying, I promise you, a majority of them just aren't super satisfied. If there's one last thing I would like to say, transparency is everything. So even if you guys want to ask the community a question, trust me, we would definitely appreciate it whenever it comes to improvements.
To put in last year, when we had one of the AMAs, that's I guess the topic for another video, how good they are, but just it was mentioned that they were going to do a thread to ask more questions about like shop deals and what we'd want and whatever. That was quite well received, but it never happened. Granted, that was different staff, but if you want to get engaged with the community, that would be great. And as World said, people just want transparency and more communication across the board for everything. But so far, I will say, I have seen Monty has been quite active, Adrian's been quite active. So hopefully this year does bring good things, but we can only wait and see.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. This is World Eater. Have a great one, guys. Peace.